Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Off the underside, how we all doing? This week I'm joined by the usual suspect, Davey boy. How you getting on, bro?
Brilliant, mate.
Brilliant. Well, that's good to hear, mate. Usually you're saying I'm alright or fucking shite or whatever, so that's actually good to hear. And Corey's taking a wee break for the podcast for a week or two. So we're going to get some other people on, ask them to come on and do a wee turn. And it's the return of one of our good friends, Robbie. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing very well, Jamie. Thanks so much for the invite. I was saying to you before, I've missed Corey now the past twice. I've been on the channel. Hopefully get a catch up with him soon, but not.
It's all right, Robbie. You're not missing much.
I was going to say, man, you say that like that's a bad thing, Robbie. It's actually, I've been trying my whole life to avoid Corey, but it doesn't seem to work. But nah, only kidding, Corey boy. I know you'll be watching this at some point, man. Jesus is king. How you doing, mate? Nice to have you in. So what have you been up to, Davey?
None, mate. What? Football.
That's what I was just saying to Robbie. Robbie said, what have I been up to? It's working, man. It's just all you do, innit?
Aye.
Working and football, man. That's the only fucking things that I seem to be doing.
I've got a belter this Saturday. I'll get them frees at 8:45 or something for the rain slip.
I tell you what, mate, you're some damn man. You're committed to that fucking boys football every weekend. It's class.
Aye.
I try and fucking tell Louis it's no football's no good and all that, you know what I mean? Football, you don't really want to be playing football. It's kind of just stay in the house, play your computer games and that, you know what I mean?
Aye, mate.
Nah, I'm only kidding, man. He's not interested in it anyway.
The coach out at Eden, I've still not played it, the last man standing the last 2 times because it.
What's that?
He shouted at Eden for when the players were shite and he get to blame it, so I've still not played last man standing for the football team the last twice.
What the fuck's last man standing? I don't even know what that is.
You put money in, raise money for the rain, so you put money in, pick a team, English game.
Oh, right.
Team, last man standing.
Right, so you've taken the half for a protest?
I'm on strike.
You've taken the half, basically?
No, I'm not taking the half, mate.
Sounds like it, mate. You're fucking not done it in 2 weeks.
Too longer, mate. Before Christmas, I stopped playing.
Well, fair play to you, mate. That's a good protest.
You're playing shite.
No, mate. That's true. Robbie, what have you been up to, mate? Not seen you in a few weeks.
I know. It feels like I've got a lot of messages, to be fair, saying where have I gone? I've sort of disappeared off of TikTok and making content and stuff. I'm the same as you, just been working away. You realise very quickly when you start that it takes a lot out of you, so it's hard to find time to make content and stuff. I hope to sort of be back doing it regularly soon, but I'm same as you, just been working away.
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Nothing else for it, man. You've got to be done, isn't it? It's one of fucking life's unfortunate necessaries is go to work, man, pay your bills and that, unfortunately, but hey, it needs to be done. But let's talk about the good stuff now. Let's go into the football. It was a cracking weekend there, particularly at the top of the table. Celtic played Kilmarnock in an early kick-off. David, did you get to see that game?
Missed it.
So obviously, my opinion was it was a game of two halves. Celtic were awful in the first half, Kilmarnock were excellent. What did you make of the first half, mate?
Aye, you've just said it, mate. These were absolute dog shit. Kilmarnock took their chances. Don't know what the keeper's doing for the second one, right enough, but aye, they took their chances. It could have been more, to be fair. They had a couple of chances, didn't they?
What the hell was Schmeichel doing for that second goal? But I mean, not just the fact. First of all, why was he going with his right hand? And second of all, his positioning to start with was all right. Why was he in that position? Why was he no kind of more centre towards the goal? As soon as it wasn't even that good a header.
Just up in the air, wasn't it?
Right, but didn't have much power on it. You know what I mean? It was just a bit of a looping he done, man. But I don't understand why he went with his right hand. People were saying in Twitter, or X as it is now, that maybe his left shoulder still fucked after a few months ago when he injured himself for Denmark and that. But I mean, if that's the case, then he shouldn't have been in the team because he's no fit.
Aye.
You've
You know
got
what I mean?
a question at that point why Sinisalo's not playing, but I think it's almost direct opposite for the one at Ibrox, and I know we're going to speak about it later, but Braga said they're on Butland. I mean, there's nothing Butland can do about that one. That's a brilliant header for Braga. I think the opposite, as you just rightly pointed out, can't really be said for Schmeichel. He should be going with his left, getting to it most likely, to be honest with you. And I thought I agree with Davey. I thought Kilmarnock deserved the 2-0 lead. Probably could have been more, to be honest, after the way the first half went. John Jules again, such an informed striker right now, a really good pick-up for Kilmarnock. And I think, as we'll obviously going to speak to, I think it was just really poor game management for Kilmarnock.
I definitely, and a few months ago when we were on the podcast, we were talking about Kilmarnock, and I said they seem to be missing just that striker up front that can score them goals. Do you know what I mean? Because I think all of the park, they look pretty decent, especially middle of the park and stuff like that. But now they seem to have that guy in, and I think Kilmarnock will be absolutely fine this season. I really do.
John Jules doesn't play up front for them, but he's showing the
I
link.
know, but he's scoring goals, is what I mean.
Aye.
And plus that boy Hugo's scoring goals, isn't he? And he is a striker.
He came on at Ibrox a few weeks ago, and he looked good. Just his pace.
Mm-hmm.
Created a couple of chances for himself.
Aye. I mean, I just think Kilmarnock have got something about them. I think Neil McCann's obviously getting a tune at them, but obviously we need to talk about the second half, which I was sitting at half time in here and I was thinking this is just going to be one of these, another twist today. Celtic, are they going to come back for this? Martin O'Neill made a triple substitution at half time, which seemed to work wonders. What did you make of the second half, Robbie?
Aye, I mean, look, I think based on the second half, Celtic deserved to win. I think that's all you really can say. It was, and to give Neil McCann a lot of credit, he got a lot of criticism when he got hired. People didn't think he was good enough. People already thought Kilmarnock were going to be that 11th place team. He's stuck to the basics. He's went out, recruited well, recruited in positions that they needed, go pace it wide, and Kilmarnock are going to be fine this season. Jamie, I agree with you. I think they'll steer clear of that relegation spot, but you're right. O'Neill changed it in the second half. I think he had to. I mean, I think it was when the second went in, and it was just before half time whistle went. The camera panned to O'Neill, and I've never seen the guy look more angry. I think that was what his 300th game managed for Celtic, and I could not tell you a time where he looked more angry than that. So he made obviously subs, as you said. Of course, you know, for the first goal, I'm not going to take it away from Net. It is an absolutely brilliant finish. I think Kilmarnock could defend it better, probably, to be honest with you, but look, it's moments like that realistically win you a league, Jamie. You know, it's moments like that. It's at the end of the game. Kilmarnock switch off for 1 second at the back post. Celtic take advantage, and it's halves like that win you the league, and it's halves like that keep you in the title challenge. And Celtic can't afford to do that every week. You know, they can't go 2-0 down to any of the top 6 teams. I keep saying that. I don't know win the league, but they are showing real fighting spirit, and that's what Celtic need to do right now.
They are showing fighting spirit, mate, but it shouldn't even get to that point. It should be the point where Celtic are going to these games, particularly at this point in the season, where we're coming towards like the real business end, where it's a title race. Celtic should be, you know, coming out and making statements at this point, but they're not. But, you know, you're saying about the Tenecti goal. Some people might hear what you're saying there and think, there's nothing you can do about that. But you're actually right, mate, because look at the first half when John Jules scored that goal, and it was a terrific finish. Don't get me wrong, Kasper Schmeichel really had no chance with that, but Austin Trusty was on his heels with that. Eventually gets back, and then when he does get close to John Jules, he doesn't get close enough. You know what I mean? The boy makes a bit of space for himself, and you know it's a terrific finish. But I feel like if you're being critical from a defensive point of view, Austin Trusty should have been tighter. And then for Tenecti's goal, I mean, we know he's got that in his locker. He done it against Dundee the other week, where he scored a lovely goal cutting inside. It wasn't quite as far out, but you know he's got that in his locker. And Kilmarnock need to be tighter, especially when you're 2-0 up at half time. You know what I mean? You're trying to fight for all 3 points. You're trying to fight for Celtic because you know Celtic are going to come out and go at Kilmarnock and, you know, like they did and create all these chances and that. But obviously, from a Kilmarnock point of view, I'd be really, really disappointed with that second half. Would you agree with that, Dave?
Aye, but especially the second goal, because you're talking about defending and then look at the state of them trying to defend the long throw.
Aye, great point, mate. I mean, that ball, one kind of soft ball into the box and Negrin Stone there himself. I mean, I thought Kilmarnock defended brilliant in the first half. Limited Celtic to chances, and then the second half performance is just really poor, man. Really poor. But what do you put that down to, Robbie? Do you think that's just a you know, Celtic just dominating the second half and Kilmarnock no paying concentration?
I think so. I mean, look, I'm a big fan of Sleep Brown, especially out of the 2 centre backs that Kilmarnock have got. I think he's excellent. Really mature for his age as well. I think he's only about 22, 23. But the way he commands that back line is phenomenal. I just think it's poor game management. It's, you know, Neil McCann was saying it. He knew exactly what Celtic were going to do. Everybody knew what Celtic were going to do. They're going to push out the traps. They're going to bring on these players that can make a difference. You know, we've seen it with Oxlade-Chamberlain against Livingston. He's a difference maker in that game. We know what these players can do, and you need to be able to control that better. That's why. And, you know, it's the whole argument online, you know, all the 7 minutes, this and that. You know, it's so irrelevant. Celtic have that fighting mentality going and do it late on. You know, the plus 7 minutes argument, both teams have the chance to score in that 7 minutes. It's not just Celtic that can go on and win a game, but Kilmarnock, like Livingston, they like to sit deep, they like to make it frustrating, and it costs teams goals. It cost us a goal when Callum McGregor done it to us in Paisley. It cost Livingston the goal. They sat far too deep for that winner, by the way, and it cost Kilmarnock at the end of the game as well. It's just really poor game management, and I think, and as I said earlier, like, you know, if Celtic go away to Hibs or go away to Falkirk, or if Celtic go 2-0 down, teams in the top six are too sharp for that. They will shut the traps right down. They will get in Celtic's face, and I couldn't see Celtic coming back for 2-0 down against Falkirk or Hibs or Motherwell or any of their teams, really. So I think, although, Jamie, you're right, and I agree with you, I think they did show the fighting spirit. It can't be done any more this season, and if it does, it will really cost Celtic probably their title challenge, to be honest.
Totally agree, mate. Totally agree. And what you're saying about the 7 minutes as well. I mean, people are making a big deal about that, but, you know, people forget it's 30 seconds for a substitute alone. And Celtic and Kilmarnock both made other substitutions. John Jules was down for a good period of time with a concussion. The boy, I can't remember who it was, but it was a boy in the second half as well that I'm sure it was at Negrin or something, hit the ball off his face, and he was down for a good while as well. And, you know, these things all do add up. 7 was probably...
You're cheating
Aye,
bastards.
no bother on it. No bother on it. Don't get me wrong, it probably was a wee bit extreme, 7 minutes. Although Chris Sutton did say before the 7 minutes, I expect about 6 or 7 minutes. And then when it came up, he's like, in fact, it should have been longer because there was more kind of drama after that, after he said that. But I think probably 7 was a bit much. But as you say, mate, both teams have got a chance to score in that off stoppage time, and Kilmarnock were just as threatening in the second half at times as well. You know, John Jules hit the bar, and there was a couple of other opportunities. Robbie Dees is a header just over the bar. So I agree, mate. But I don't know. But at the end of the day, Celtic won the match, last minute winner. Boggett's played into Araho. Davey, were you raging when the wee man was in there celebrating?
No, I've not seen it. I've not seen that.
Oh, do you know watch the second half?
Well, I've seen some of it. As I said, I had to go. I was off.
Were you raging, but when you heard the score,
No,
you were.
no, I wasn't, mate. You want me to be raging, but I wouldn't give you the satisfaction.
Aye, of course we were raging. Craig, evening from Tenerife. How's it going, Craig? About? Thanks for tuning in from Tenerife, mate. David says, what a great title run and it's attracting a lot of attention from England and abroad. Bring it on. Totally agree, mate. That's another thing we've been talking about. I done a video yesterday about how Hearts have been accredited to Scottish football because of the attention they're bringing to our games. So totally agree, man. But so after the Celtic game, there was a late dramatic win. Davey, you went to the game against Hearts.
Against Hearts. Win, mate. It was already won before we scored the fourth. No dramatic
I'm talking about Celtic. I'm talking about Celtic game.
Oh, fuck Celtic. We're going to Rangers now.
That's what I'm saying. After a dramatic win, you go into the Rangers game, you go to the game. What did you make of the first half, man? It was a good start for Hearts anyway.
Aye, mate. Two bad mistakes for us, right enough. Fernandez passing, Raskin looking away was the first one, let them in. Second one, Suter's got to be better, but other than that, mate, there wasn't really. With Hearts just done that, see they talk about like game management, mate. Every 2 minutes, somebody's doing kid on or injured. Everybody was done, man. Halkett must have been done about 6 times. Finley's done. Let's say, is it the Irish boy, McEntee?
He came off, didn't he? He was injured.
He came off, but he stood up, walked 2 seconds so the sub would be ready to come on, and he's done on his show. Fuck off, get off, you fucking almost.
But it was a brilliant first half, though. Obviously, Leonard's goal was a peach, but as you say, Fernandez was poor.
They were doing all the time. McEntee must have been about 4 or 5 minutes alone, and we get 4 minutes from the first half.
I saw a conspiracy against Rangers.
Mate, we didn't need it, mate. Come out and battered them in the second half. Big Chernippy, hat trick, 6 goals against Hearts and Celtic this year for somebody that's absolute bitch.
Well, you've not been his biggest fan on here.
That's what I'm saying. He's pish. I
Aye,
was
well,
slagging for that first shot.
he scored a good hat-trick, to be fair. It was a good hat.
I thought Nadiri scored for where I sat, right where, see where the wee guy was in the turnabout hang with his guy.
Mm.
I thought Nadiri scored until I came home and I seen it, and he fucking never scored. Right
What, got the first goal you talking about?
Aye, the equaliser.
Aye.
Right, that spine line there.
Aye, well, it was a good bit of play down the left-hand side for that Robin. She looks like a good player.
Mate, he looks amazing.
Mm.
And he's always on the move. Well, even with was it the fourth one or the third one? A Hearts player gets two arms in his legs and he just gets up and turns around and basically says, "Get it right, fucking up," you goes and celebrates.
Aye.
But
that's the thing.
Well, mate.
Aye, that's the thing now, man. Rangers have got a bit of width as well. You get Gisama, you get, him down the left-hand side as well. You know what I mean? Mikey Mills playing well. And then you obviously got Nadiri in the box now that can fucking put things away. It's a bit like Celtic. Like, we were begging out for like a striker. I know that Fian Chara didn't score at the weekend and Adamu wasn't. He was actually really, really pushing the first half. But there's actually guys in there now that can fucking stick the ball away because Celtic and Rangers they've had width all season, but they've just not had anybody to put the ball in the back of the net, man.
Nadiri looks as if he'll be a good player for us, mate. Because I don't even know if he played two up top or Nadiri was behind Chermity, but they were just changing him that.
Nah, I thought Chermity was a bit deeper than him, aye.
Aye, mate. I think when he comes deep, then Nadiri goes tap, and then so hopefully he stays with that. But Chermity was injured, mate. Chermity was doing injured to get back up and then scored.
But he's another diving bastard, so
Aye,
we've seen that during the week. We've seen that during the week against
Motherwell. Where's the new signing, Mavuka? Where is it?
He's been bombed out, mate. He's a shocker. He had a shocker against Dundee, mate. He's been taken out of the team final line already, man. Robbie, what did you make of the game, mate? Obviously, I thought the first half was excellent. End-to-end stuff, man.
Aye, really, really good first half, actually, for football. I enjoyed it. I think Davey's right. Both Hearts goals probably could have been avoided if they were defended better, especially the first one. But look, Hearts with the first one knew how to press well. They knew when to press. They knew how to spook Rangers. They done it well. On Davey's point with the sort of Hearts diving and stuff. You seen it when they come to Paisley today. They got in a lot, Davey. I'll agree with you. But what I would say,
what's your game, mate? I know.
I was thinking that when he was saying that, man. They were diving like fucking some game.
I would say one player I spotted for Rangers, Scott Wilson, likes a wee dive. He likes to go in.
He get booked for it. He get booked for it.
Aye, but see that one, he shouldn't have been booked for that because there is contact. It's the second one. He should have got electrocuted for.
You can always tell a player's reaction, mate. You can always tell a player's reaction.
I'm at the other side where he is, mate. It looked as if he get took out the game.
Nah, mate, he didn't. His reaction tells it all, man. He was up and he was just like, fair enough.
But what a close for the goal for Chermity's second one, mate, for the Virgin. What a ball.
Aye, so, I thought it was a very good first half, and you mentioned the Chermity. When you put him sort of deeper and have him as that hold-up striker, it's a lot more useful in that Rangers team, and he's adding goals to his game as well. I mean, Davey, you might think he's pish and all that sort of stuff, but if he fires into against Celtic next week, Rangers fans are going to be absolutely loving him. So,
I'll jump over the barrier.
But it's just one of these things where it has come in with a lot of criticism because I think the price, but
he's 21. But that's the thing. I talk about this all the time. We slag players all the time, but he's 21.
Aye,
do you know what I mean?
He's proven he knows how to find the net, but I thought you can really see now how much it's starting to affect Hearts and McInnes, more in particular than the Hearts team. To be honest with you, I think he's really starting to look under pressure in these press conferences after every game. I've seen it after Paisley as well. He looks so nervous. He looks so stressed all the time. He doesn't look composed, to be honest. And
no used to this stuff like it. He's no used to being tapped for this long.
Nah, I don't think so. And to be honest with you, it's nowhere yet. But I don't see Hearts winning the league. If you had to ask me now, I can't see Hearts keeping this up against Rangers and Celtic in this fight. To be honest, they'll tail off at some point. They've got to know, and they've known. I give them credit for that, by the way. It's a breath of fresh air for Scottish football, and they have done really well. I don't see Hearts seeing it through. And if today, look, I'm an outsider, I'll be happy it's a change for Scottish football. I'll never say no to that, but right now, until Shankland and until Devlin come back, I can't see Hearts continuing this push for the title, to be honest.
No.
I agree, especially the Shankland thing. I mean, I just think to lose your captain, to lose a guy that scores all 8 goals, and I just feel that it's just a massive loss. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and the guys who have come in for him are on the up to it. I mean, you say Cammy Devlin, and I agree he is a misrate, but that boy Leonard looks decent that they brought in. The boy Magnuson looks decent. Obviously, Beringame is a good player. So they have got, I think they had cover there, to be honest, and I think that they've got players who are equally as good. But to lose Shankland is just, that was the one guy they couldn't afford to lose, in my opinion.
I'd probably say Braga, mate. Because he's a bastard in the park, do you know what I mean? He's the one that hangs him, but aye. We'll see when they come back, innit? Because they should be back next month, so if they start picking up results again and get playing better. But
I know, Shankland might come back, but then somebody else might get out, you know what I mean? Halkett might get injured, or Finlay might get injured, and that's the thing. That's why I said a few months ago they won't win the league, because they just don't have the squad, especially Celtic and Rangers going out in January and strengthening and Rangers spending money, Celtic no fucking, but at least they go out and get internationals and that, whereas Hearts just they couldn't do that.
They did get an international, they get Matos.
Fuck's sake, man, you're talking about one guy. You know what I'm talking about, man.
I think even with the sort of squad, you've got Danny Rowe at Rangers, who speaks so confidently of himself and his group of players, and in a season where, let's be honest, after the season, if Rangers win the league or no, they're going to need to do some selling in players and getting some new ones in, because there is faces in that door that probably shouldn't be there anymore. You look at Martin O'Neill at Celtic, it's a guy that's been around the block, he speaks so confidently himself, he knows how good he is, he knows how good that Celtic team can be. Derek McInnes isn't speaking like that. Derek McInnes is speaking like he's frightened, and he looks like he's frightened as well in the touchline. And for Hearts, that's no somebody you need in that dugout for the running. You need somebody to be confident, you need somebody to be out and really showing himself for what he is. And right now, he's trying to do that, and he is saying the right things, but on the touchline, I've never seen a manager in a title fight look so worried as Derek McInnes does. And if that continues, they will be out it, because they've got some tough games coming up. Falkirk at home, just put them at the cup. It's not going to be easy.
No, definitely not. And Falkirk are obviously a really good team in that, but I think once we get to the split in that as well, it's going to be really difficult for teams like Hearts to just maintain it. You know what I mean? Even the guys who are injured, it's been a long old season. And all right, they might not be in the cups anymore and stuff, but guys like Braga and Kyrgios, they've played loads of football this season. Finlay and that, the guys who haven't, like I say, haven't got injured, man, it's just going to be, it's not enough for, it's not sustainable for the whole season for them to win a league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If they do, then what, full credit to McInnes and the players, because it would be some fight back. And I think, in my opinion anyway, if they don't win the league this season, I don't see Hearts just tailing away. I can't see them falling off. I can't see them finishing third by about 20 points behind. The way Tony Bloom's structuring this build at Hearts, he's going to keep bringing in players, he's going to keep building the depth, and I think Hearts will put on a proper challenge more seasons than no, to be honest with you. It's just, this might be a bit too early for it.
Well, that's point said that this is just the start, isn't it?
What's that?
A few weeks ago on Sky, this is just the start for that. So if they've been this good this season, what they got to do when they actually get better players in as well?
But that's the thing, it's like, they are going to be gutted if they don't win the league, let's be honest, because they've been tapped for so long, and we're in February, they're top still as well, and if they don't win the league, they are going to be absolutely gutted. But as you say, Davey, you know what I mean, it's just the start, and Tony Bloom's obviously got a long-term plan there, and,
Mate, you look at these other teams, mate, that's all he does is buy young boys that nobody's ever heard of, loans them out to another one of his teams, and then 2-3 years later, they're away for money.
Well, if he gets a bunch of fucking players that have done half as well as they have at Brighton, in Scotland, they'll win the league eventually in the next 2 years.
USG done it, didn't they? They won the league in Belgium, won it last year.
Aye.
And then their main striker went for 23 million.
Aye, definitely. It's a long-term project, but so I still think, if I'm being honest, man, I don't even want to fucking say this, but I need to say it, man, because it's what I think. I think Rangers will win the league.
You're fucking right, and just remember who you're at the start. When we were lying in 8th, 9th.
You did, mate. To be fair,
I
you
know.
did. You were like, I still think Rangers are going to win the league, man. Even Russell
See when I
Martin's
was
stuff in glory days and all that, man. Not nuts.
see when I was walking good the other day, I thought I could hear his heart singing the top of the league.
Mm. Fucking
But no
nuts, man.
problem, mate. I
Do
don't
you?
think
Who do you think will win the league, Robbie?
Oh, I know. I also think Rangers are going to win the league, to be honest. But yeah, something about Danny Rowe's character, it's really driving their players. And see, if you put Russell Martin in that game, there's no way he's drafting James Tavernier for that game. He's putting Tav in first time on the team sheet. Danny Rowe knows the type of player that John Sterling is compared to Hearts. He knows what uses he can get out of him. That's just one player, for example. So I think Danny Rowe also comes with his flaws. Don't get me wrong. I think he let Mitty go to Rang midweek at Fir Park, and he did. And by the way, that was nowhere near a terrible point. In the title race, I suppose it is. Every drop point's a terrible point, but in terms of actually getting a draw at Fir Park and scoring a goal, it's something the team's been able to do since September. So Rangers to go there and even get a point was good, but
He's
something.
done it twice.
Aye, and something just tells me, Jamie, with that game against Hearts and how unthreatened Rangers looked in that second half to me, Danny Rowe's getting it spot on right now, and I think it will continue it, to be honest.
And I
Aye, the
think
second half was a total domination, man.
it's just going to get better for us because Romans is still to kick in as well. He's only just had these 2 games or since he started. Same way took with Annie in the middle of the park. He looks good, to be fair. Just does everything simpler, tries to anyway. Wins the ball back. So 2 weeks is going to be the big one, innit?
It is, mate, but I seen your live the other day, Robbie, and people were saying, so I think somebody said to you, if Celtic win in the 1st of March, or I think it might have been Rangers actually, if Rangers win the 1st of March, league is over, and you're like, nah, it's not, you know what I mean, this is still
No.
going to be twists and turns, and that the 1st of March isn't going to decide anything. Obviously, it's going to help, but
The
it's not going
first
to
time
decide
that
anything.
just means when you play your game in home, we're still above you, so that's it.
Aye.
The only thing in our favour, if it's level points, is the goals in now, innit? I think there's 6 goals. I think we're level with Hearts now.
Mm.
And yous are 4, maybe 5 or 6 behind Jamie, that's it.
Mm.
If it comes down to that.
Well, it doesn't look like we're going to be pumping anybody, so I don't think that we'll be getting any goals back anytime soon,
There
unfortunately.
might be a helicopter out somewhere.
Well, that's my biggest fear, man. I can't go through that again. I thought the days were behind me, man. Honestly, I can't be going through another fucking last
What
day.
Rangers and Celtic need to sort out is the away form, mate, because we're not playing brilliant away from him, and you definitely are not playing brilliant away from him when you go. He's getting the job done, but that's about it.
That takes us nicely onto my next topic I want to talk about, as the away form being very, very poor. And that takes us on to St Mirren, Robbie boy. I'm sorry that it's not the best of topics at the moment, but he's done league trophy winners League Cup trophy winners this season. So,
Mate, there's a
you know what I mean?
mean?
But I was reading earlier on, St Mirren have only won 1 away game this season, which is just really, really poor, considering the last few years. But what have you made of particularly the last few weeks, mate, to be honest, because St Mirren are really, really struggling at the moment to get a 2-0 defeat on Saturday against Hibs.
Aye, and a 2-0 away defeat where we looked really flat, to be honest. We weren't really up to much, and that has been the story of the away form. Jamie, you're right. It's been far, far from good enough, and even home form at points hasn't been great this season. Just overall, you know, and look, I'm never, ever, ever going to take anything away for that cup win. I'll never take anything away for the players or the manager. We deserve to win that cup. The piece, we were brilliant all tournament. We knocked out some of the big hitters. You know, we put 4 goals by Motherwell, which you'd say that to somebody now and they'd laugh at you and think you're lying because they just look that good. But there is a lot that seems to be taking its toll, and I don't know who quite own, to be honest. And of course, the front of it's the manager, and the manager always gets the criticism, the manager always gets the blame, and I think there definitely is some truth in that with Robinson. I think the system that he plays is far too stubborn. I think he's kept it too stubborn, to be honest, with the personnel that he's selecting, and it's costing us points in games. Is he anywhere near the sack? He's absolutely nowhere near it. And a fellow Simon fan, Mark Yarden, actually put out on Twitter a really good. It was a really big blog. Like you know, if you want to go and read it, feel free. It's a brilliant piece of work. But to sum it up quickly, you know, it's as St Mirren fans, no wonder we don't deserve it, and because as soon as one spell goes wrong in 4 years, we're straight on the manager's back and we want him sacked. We don't deserve it, and if that's the way we're going to treat managers that have won a major trophy for the first time in 12 years, taking us into European competition, won in it as well, went toe to toe with a really, really good SK brand team, 3 consecutive top sixes for a club that shouldn't be near the top six, by the way, on paper. If that's the way we're going to treat a manager like Stephen Robinson, imagine what we're going to be like when we have a manager in 10 years, like, I don't know, Mark Wilson or Scott Brown, and they're maybe battling relegation in 11th for season and we can't win a game at all. You know, how are we going to treat their type of managers? Because let's be real, as much as it's been fun the last 4 years and as much as I've enjoyed every single second of it, it's not going to last forever. It doesn't at a club like St Mirren. We've seen it like with St Johnstone. They won the cup double. It was a gradual decline. Now they're in the championship, trying to come back up. That will happen to us, you know, we're not oblivious to that as St Mirren fans. It's going to happen. We're going to take our turns for the worst. We're going to be up here again, probably in 20 years, living our best. But you need to back your manager and you need to back your players. And right now, the fans aren't doing that. As soon as it's got hostile, as soon as it's get sour, Robinson out straight away. That's the first thing the fans turn to. And I cannot believe any St Mirren fan would ever say that, by the way. And I can't believe there is St Mirren fans saying that. Yeah, I think he needs to change it a day, but it's still nowhere near sack worthy. And even if we lose at the weekend, even if we lose the next 5 games, my opinion will only change on Robinson. I'll never want him sacked for what he's done to this club. But it does need to start changing the system. And he did come out in the press today, to be fair, and said he's thinking of switching to a 4-3-3, which is the right choice if we get the right personnel in. So we just need to hope it continues. But listen, I have every confidence in the world that we'll not be in relegation this season. I have every confidence we'll still be in the Premiership. And by the end of the season, we'll still be celebrating that cup win for December, because why shouldn't we be? We should still be celebrating it now. It was only 8 weeks the other day since it happened, you know, but we should still be thanking Robinson and the players for that cup win. Instead, it's turned slightly toxic. A few results have now went away and suddenly we're on the Robinson out bandwagon, and we just won. We went 5 games unbeaten there, beating top of the league as well. So I don't know. I'll never get it, guys. I don't know from an outsider's point of view if you feel any different, but I'll never get it.
Mate,
No, I don't get it, mate. No.
Both fan bases are the same.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
There was,
I mean,
there was disgruntled people because we just kept playing it back all the time in that first half. Just goes back. It's just rotating the ball, man, and it's fucking annoying. But there was kind of shouting, "Get fucking do that." But it's always going to happen. Fans are fickle as fuck. Doesn't matter if you win things. As soon as it's one bad player or one bad performance, that's it. Right on the backs.
definitely, and a guy like Stephen Robinson is a classic example of a victim of his own success. You know what I mean? It's like, because he's been so good the last few years and got St Mirren all these great results and great positions in the league and that, you know, people are expecting that now. And as you say, mate, on paper, like St Mirren shouldn't be in the top 6. You know what I mean? And people need to realise that for the past 3-4 years, Stephen Robinson's been overachieving. And obviously this season's maybe a hurdle too far, but then he still won a trophy. You know what I mean? So it's like, I agree with you, mate. I mean, to say that Stephen Robinson should even be anywhere near the sack is incredible. But what I think you will be worried about is the fact that Michael O'Neill is going to go to Blackburn, I was reading. So Stephen Robinson has come out publicly and said that
Is he
his
not doing the
next...
touring, but
Is he doing it to him?
I thought I seen the other day that he was doing the touring at least the summer, so
I
Well,
think he'll hold out a Northern Ireland job until the summer, depending on if they qualify for the World Cup, and then probably gear up and go Blackburn full time if he does well.
But then once that Northern Ireland position does come available, Stephen Robinson will be I think he'll be the first name on it, to be honest. I think he will go there.
We knew, Jamie, 4 years ago that was the case. We knew as soon as the Northern Ireland job came up, it was Robinson's dream. He's got the coaching team in the Northern Ireland job. You know, Dermot O'Carroll, who's former assistant, in there doing a really good job, getting high praise. It is really tailor suited to Robinson, and as much as I don't want him to go, I just feel a part of my heart goes, well, for some of the fan base that want to always turn it civil and always turn it against Robinson. You know what? I hope he goes and does a good job, and I hope that we also kick on. But at the same time, that wee part of my heart just goes, well, you know what? See if these fans want to criticise arguably our greatest ever manager. Let's see what it's like then when we get a championship guy and it's not experienced enough and we're down there struggling. Let's see what they think then, because that's what some of the fan base expect. They expect us to be top 6 and top 4, and or else we're not that type of club. We're nowhere near it. And let's not forget, Robinson's got a chance at a cup double this season. As much as on form right now, we'll know that anything can happen in these cup games, and if we are going to win the cup double, then he is a greatest ever manager. You know,
Mhm.
Jamie, I got a season ticket for St Mirren in 2017. I think it was my first ever season ticket for the club. Like my first full season, I can remember we had Alan Stubbs in as a manager. He spent what £75,000 on Josh Heaton in the midfield. They signed a bunch of rejects. We were really bad. They get sacked after 13 games. Is that where the fan base really want us to be back? Is that what they're going to expect? Is that what we're going to expect now Robinson leaves? How are the fan base going to cope with that if they can't even cope with one bad patch in 4 years? I just, it baffles me that some fans want him sacked. It's mental to me.
Aye, I agree, mate. I mean, careful what you wish for and all that, isn't it? I mean, but who would you see going in there if Robinson left, whether it's tomorrow, 6 months, or a year down the line? Who is there any names that come to your mind that St Mirren could go for after that?
The first one that always springs to mind is Robbie Nielsen. Obviously been in Scottish football before. He thought he knows the game. The only thing I'm wary is I think he's in Belgium or Germany, and he seems to really be enjoying his time there. So I don't know if we can maybe attract him back to Scottish football. A surprising name that they really wants, but I wouldn't mind is Stephen Naismith after the World Cup. If he was to leave the Scotland post, I don't think I'd mind Naismith. I don't ever think he'd done a bad job. Well, I think towards the end it get always a bit sour between him and the fans, and they sort of tailed off. But on the basis, I actually thought he'd done a pretty decent job. And then you've just got the regulars like Scott Brown's name will always pop up. One I'd be interested in, Stephen McGinn, former captain of the club. Outside shouts, no really, to be honest, mate. One manager that's I don't think he's in a job yet and would be far too unrealistic for us, but Graham Arnold, the former Australian manager, I mean, I don't think he'd ever come to Scottish football. I don't think he'd specifically St Mirren. But if we could somehow attract him to the club, I'd love a type of manager like that, to be honest.
That's a bit of a kind of out there one, isn't it? I've never thought about him, but I've seen him. He's managed at World Cups and all that, hasn't he, for Australia and stuff like that. So it'd be good loads of experience to come out here. But as you say, mate, that may be quite a long shot, that one. But also, well, we've got to talk about Motherwell as well. We've got to speak about them because we did talk about them earlier on, but they've been fantastic this season. And I was in the group chats with my mates the other day, and one of my mates said, you know what, after last night's performance, Rangers against Motherwell, he says, I actually want that Motherwell manager. Because not just, obviously, they ended up drawing the game and stuff, right? But the way Motherwell played in that match was outstanding, I thought. See the way they hunted in packs and, you know, on the ball and that, they look so confident. So guys like Slattery and Justin, you know, all these other boys, man, are just, I think they're a really, really good team. And he's taking young boys and making them really brilliant, you know, fantastic in Scotland. So I would actually agree with him, man. I would take that boy. I would.
Remember, I put him towards you, Jamie, and you laughed at me.
All right, mate, you're fucking hell,
man. It's not even just the
Mhm.
young players, but Stephen O'Donnell looks better.
I know.
McGinn.
Aye.
You know what I mean? It's not even just the young, it's every single, even the keeper.
Aye.
To be fair, they had chances and made chances. Like Chermity should have buried one, played it right to the keeper, but they deserved a point. There's no, and I've said it all season for maybe about Christmas time. They're the best team in the league playing football-wise.
You're right, mate. You're right. Aye,
and that's a foreign coach. Never didn't even play in our league. Came there with ideas and just said that's what we're playing. Buy into it. And it can go wrong. Like your manager, Motherwell's got it right with somebody they'd even heard it.
And do you know what I was thinking when I was watching that Rangers and Motherwell game last week was watching Motherwell here is like watching the opposite of Wilfred Nancy's team at Celtic. You know, because it was like you could blatantly see in Nancy's team that nobody knew what they were doing, nobody was confident, everybody was pointing at each other
and they just ripped the piss out.
They put the battles. But it was the total opposite, mate. Motherwell, they all knew their jobs. They all knew exactly where they should be. If somebody was in behind, there was somebody covering, and it was a joy to watch, man. It was a hunting in packs again, and just to see a team play like that, man. That's the first time I've obviously I've seen a couple of Motherwell games this season, but that's the first time I've actually sat down and paid attention and watched just how excellent they are. I think he's got to be up there for manager of the season.
Aye, mate. But I don't think he will be because Robinson's won a cup and then it's going to be somebody that wins the league, isn't it? Really?
Probably, mate.
Aye, but I would say it was even the first game we played them, the first game of the season, mate. You could see they weren't brilliant, but you could see what he was trying to
Aye,
do.
you could try to do. I agree,
Yeah,
mate.
mate.
Aye.
Aye, and you know what, see where he ends, right, and I gave him the highest regard possible because he's done a fantastic job with Motherwell this season. He should not rush away for that job by any means necessary. He
Nah.
should stay put at that club for as long as he can, and as long as he wants to as well. That we always speak about managers getting rushed about and getting rushed away. If he left and say theoretically that the Celtic did snap him up in the summer, you then pose the question: is it a bit too soon for him? But I think as long as he stays put at Motherwell and as long as he keeps building, I'd actually be excited to watch them in Europe under him. I'd be excited to see that style in Europe and see how he competes against other teams and stuff like that. I want to ask you guys actually. All the plaudits right now are going towards Masonation, and rightly so. I mean, the guy's banging goals in and nearly every week at this rate. But for me, the best on the ball player to watch in Scotland right now is Elijah Just by a long stretch. That guy has impressed me every time I've watched him, even in games that haven't quite went Motherwell's way. And Hampden obviously springs to mind against us, even earlier before that in the season when he was still trying to get it right. See, any time I've watched him play, I've been so impressed with the guy. And Masonation will of course take the spotlight because that goal contribution, that goal record that he's got. But for me, just purely watching a player in this league, Elijah Just tops it for me.
I've got to give Davies props on this one. I know he did say this a good few months ago again. Just was excellent, and every time I've seen him since Davies said that, he's been brilliant.
See, the thing is, he played for that. I can't remember the manager's name. That Jens guy. He played for his old team, so he just brought him with him.
Oh, did he? I don't even know that.
I'm sure. I'm sure he played for his old teammate, so he just brought him with him, so he knew he was a good player. Australian international. So,
aye. I mean, I remember seeing when Murrow did appoint him as manager, and I looked at his stats and that, and I was like, this guy seems good, man, because he's won trophies and stuff. Even as assistant manager and all that, and I'm like, that is going. His experience is going to do really well here in Scotland, and it's he's done brilliant, man. But Elliot Watt as well, you got to give a shout out to him, man. I think he's been amazing, and also Stephen Welsh. I know that you don't really want to give him any praise, David, but
even the keeper, mate. Who's the keeper? And he's been brilliant.
Again, he's just a guy who knows his job, man. He knows exactly where he should be whenever that ball gets fucking played back, man. It's amazing.
And they're no scared to play it back up along the back line. The goalkeeper, they just keys it, make sure it's short. It's amazing, mate, for a team like Motherwell.
Aye, and the players on Saturday, and I'm telling you, I'm not convinced at all we're going to get in at that game, to be honest with you. But
don't worry, mate. We might have a third game against them after the split away for him. So we've got some Celtic away that could be Motherwell Hibs away.
Aye, but Jamie, your point earlier, what building himself into the Scotland team here. I mean, Clark has got to be considering him for that World Cup team at this point.
Oh, 100%, mate, 100%. But I mean, I just want to say, Scott, great pod again, guys. And a pleasure to listen to Robbie. There you go, Robbie. You've made a fan, mate. David, thanks very much for your comment, mate.
Robbie's never played story by the way, that guy.
Aye, because he knows who the Fuds are and who aren't they. So, aye. So, Rob, your point there about Elliot Watt. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Obviously, I'm a big advocate. I think Stuart Finlay and Craig Halkett should both be in the World Cup squad. But the point is, man, I reckon, see, when it comes to the World Cup, I reckon 95% of squads are already fucking sorted because most managers are going to stick with the guys who got them there. So it's going to be really, really tough for guys like Elliot Watt, guys like Halkett and Finlay and stuff. And I've seen somebody mention Harry Milne, which I think is ridiculous because you're not getting near ahead of Andy Robertson and Kieran Tierney and all this. But, these guys who are knocking on the door in Scotland to play for Motherwell and that, I don't think, like Stephen Welsh, for instance, I don't think he's going to get in the squad.
It's going to be a Harvey Barnes, isn't it? If MD's going to get in, it's going to be somebody for the Premiership.
But then who do you drop, man? Who do you drop these guys that have got you there?
I know, mate, but it's no worked in the both Euros we went to, picking the players that go to there. Do you know what I mean? The Shattered against the Republic, the Shattered against Hungary. So...
and you look at arguably our most creative player attacking wise, Ben Gannon Doak. I mean, he's a young guy, so flying the guys with
is he still injured?
No, I think he's back.
He played for Bournemouth, does he?
No, he's done it. Is it Middlesbrough now? He's playing, done it? Or the Bournemouth?
No, Bournemouth side.
Bournemouth got him. He's at Bournemouth.
Aye, in the summer, mate. But
aye. But you look
Yes.
at him, then fling a guy with the international experience in Elliot Watt and go, right, you show us what you can do. We've no made it, as David pointed out, we've not really shown ourselves up at any major tournament, or the last two that Clark got us to. So Clark should be saying, right, go in there and get us at this group stage finally.
Aye.
It's an interesting topic, man, because like, do you go for the tried and tested and the guys that got you there, or do you go for the guys who are on form at that particular moment in time?
You said I wouldn't give Welsh praise, but I would rather take Welsh and Hanley.
I'd take Hanley. I like Hanley. I wouldn't take Jack Henry.
Aye,
You've-
but he's young.
got-
He's young, huh? Get him in Welsh playing. But what they got to do at the back is they got to be a free just so they can put Robertson and fucking Tierney on the team.
He'll go with a back.
You know what I mean?
I don't think he'll switch system now, but
Remember, he used to play McTominay at the back.
Aye.
but no,
For fuck's sake.
I think, Jamie, you've got to strike balance with these type of things. He's got to get a mix of both. I feel you can't just go one-sided on this. You can't fling the full youth in and all this sort of stuff. That will backfire. But you also can't just go with your tried and tested. That will also not work. Guys like, I mean, look, I'm not saying for 1 minute, right, Ollie McBurney should be back in the Scotland team, right, because I don't think he could be. But you look at his goal record and compare it to Lyndon Dykes in the last year and a half.
Aye.
Ollie McBurney's gone to Lyndon Dykes every day of the week, so he has got to take the form into that accord.
I completely agree, because I think there's too many players, strikers in Scotland, like Che Adams and Lyndon Dykes, who don't score enough goals to be in the team for me. You know what I mean? So we need somebody up there who has gone to, I mean, you say when you take Ollie McBurney, I mean, I think he fell out with him, didn't he? Because it just kind of all of a sudden just stopped for McBurney, because he was playing for a period of time, and then I don't know what happened. I think it might have been, did he no choose to no go to a Scotland game or whatever, and I think Clark's through the huff at that. But for me, you've got to put that aside, man, and pick the players who are going to do the best for you at this World Cup, because
Well, they know said they're talking to a few players to try to get them. So that means
we can't be sitting there relying. I know, but we can't be sitting there relying on the World Cup and McTominay scoring goals, because it's not fair, man. You know what I mean? Aye.
Aye, mate, I get it.
McGinn, who the last major tournament, by the way, was really disappointing, actually. But one player I didn't think we utilised enough, and that's, David, that's why I think you're right in a sense. For me, playing the free back's not the best system Clark can play at the World Cup. It doesn't get the best out of midfield, and but this needs to be the one. I mean, Clark, I heard a report earlier that Clark was apparently wanting a big long-term contract one more time, and if he's going to earn that, then he needs to be brave and get us at this group stage. If he doesn't get us at the group stage again, which, by the way, I consider Morocco and Brazil are very tough teams, by the way. But if he doesn't get us at the group stage, he does. In my opinion, he doesn't deserve to be Scotland manager anymore, to be honest, because he's had his chances. And I know what he's saying in terms of his goal was to get us into the major tournaments, and he has done that, and fair play to him. I'll always, I'm never going to hate Steve Clark for the job he's done with Scotland. I think he's done a brilliant job, considering I grew up not watching us in a major tournament. It's been fantastic. But I think I think we've struck the iron. Now's the time to get a manager in that's brave, and I think we can push home with the squad we've got. So that's,
Get him a road manager in.
He's not going to go to an national team.
Well, we fucking could do the tour if he wants.
But
you think about it, we've spoken about the midfield for years. The midfield is quality. It doesn't it? As you said, utilised to its main thing. Plays the same players, they do the same thing. Christie plays out wide, McGinn plays out wide. Push Robertson up one and play Tierney left back. Play a 4-4-5-1. Fucking put Lyndon Dykes back in Australia and fucking take Harvey Barnes or something like that. Play him up front. Get more goals out of him and what you've had all the rest of them. Shankland coming off the bench, but it's not going to happen.
I probably won't, and hopefully Kieran Bowyer maybe score a few goals between now and the end of the season. He might stake a claim, but we need somebody up there that's going to score goals. But Robbie, you were saying there about Scotland, when Scotland get the World Cup, and if he doesn't qualify for the group stages, he doesn't have Scotland manager. I agree to an extent, but I think it all depends on how we play. Like if we go into these games right, and it's just sit behind the ball, fucking defensive crap as usual, like we did against in the Euros. Even though it's tougher opposition, I feel in the World Cup. Obviously, apart from Haiti, we should be beating them. But Morocco and Brazil. But Morocco, you should be trying to go at Morocco. Do you know what I mean? Don't sit behind the ball and fucking expect them know to score just because you're going to defend well and all that. Obviously, Brazil, you maybe need to do that, but we need to show a bit of oomph going forward, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
I think doesn't deserve was probably a wrong word, but I mean in terms of, it's getting to the point where it feels like Clark's time is coming to an end as Scotland manager, and that's no discrediting him. That's just how long he's been in the job and what he's done. It feels like we've hit that brick wall with Clark where he probably isn't going to take us any further than he already has, to be honest. And there's nothing wrong with that. It happens with every manager. They have a ceiling that they hit, and now's maybe the time to try a breath of fresh air in that Scotland team. But you're right, we can't afford to sit back. We get punished against Germany for doing that, and I know Germany had a good team, but I don't think we should have been losing that game 5-1, to be honest with you, at the course of it. But I agree with you, Jamie. We need to go at teams like Morocco, and don't get me wrong, Morocco are going to be no pushovers. They just go to the final of the African Cup of Nations, so they're clearly good enough to make it far in tournaments. But we should be expected to at least try and be one of the best third place teams. Realistically, you're looking at it. I know it's the first game of the World Cup and the nerves are going to be up there, but we should be looking to bat higher realistically, and try and get that goal difference racked up.
And Brazil aren't the Brazil years ago either, so it's not as if they're amazing. They'll probably get put out early in the competition. I'd probably say Morocco's the hardest game in the group.
I would agree. Don't even get me started on Brazil not being the same team, because I'll just go on a big rant about how football's not as good as it was 20 years ago again, and nobody wants to hear me greet about that. But I mean, you look at that Brazil team, but you know what I mean? who is there even in that team that scares you anymore?
Most of them are all playing in the Premier League.
I know, but like, who is it that you would go, oh, you need to watch him, man, he's terrifying. Remember 20 years ago, and it was Rivaldo, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho. There's nobody there anymore, man.
On paper, you're looking at Vinny Jr. That's the only name I can pull at the heart.
And even he's been rotten this season.
He's not playing well. Chelsea, maybe. That's a bit.
Aye. So that they're not. You're right, Jamie. They're not playing well. I don't want to use the term they're there to be go at, because I'm very cautious that it's Scotland and we don't tend to turn up at major tournaments. But we certainly shouldn't be frightened of playing Brazil or Morocco. In fact, we shouldn't be frightened of playing anybody. We've got enough quality. We have enough quality to make it the knockouts. We've had that at the last 2 Euros as well. We've just been so cautious. Now's the time just to be aggressive. I mean, who was it at the Euros? I can never remember their name, but like they went toe to toe with, like, was it France or a really good team? It was Denmark or something, and they beat them, and it was brilliant. And I'd just love to see us do that just once.
Aye.
Agreed.
Yeah,
and a major tournament, aye.
But what cup was it? Costa Rica done it, mind if? But 10 years ago, Costa Rica went.
Get back about there, mate. Aye, it was Costa Rica. Aye, I was played for Diaz, innit? I played for Real Madrid.
Aye.
He was good.
Moroccan.
No, he's not.
Graham Diaz.
No, I know him then. Somebody else.
Brian Oviedo.
Can't remember. One of them anyway.
Brian Ruiz. He was good.
Aye, that's what I'm thinking.
Played for Fulham.
Aye, there was somebody played for Real Madrid as well. Played for Costa Rica, but
probably, mate. But it's one of the ones you just fucking throw your hat in it and go for it. Instead of just sitting back, going defensive, and then for the last 10 minutes, Momo attack.
Definitely, agreed.
Cape Verde, right? Cape Verde plays Spain and Uruguay in the group. I think they've got Saudi Arabia as well. No, I'm not saying they're going to beat Spain and Uruguay, but I can guarantee you they're going to have a go, and they're going to run both teams close, because they don't care. This is, for teams like Cape Verde, this is once in a lifetime. For Scotland, this is our first World Cup in most fans' lifetime, so it would just be nice to see us go and have a go against these teams.
I was
just reminded us of a couple of old bastards again, Davey, isn't he?
I was just thinking that. Even when they said it the first time, where the Euros.
I was like, man. I was like, I'm not even going to say it, but he said it twice, so.
But to be fair, 96 was the last Euros, really, wasn't it? Before the
96 Euros, then obviously World Cup was 98.
It's a World Cup.
Tam's asking, how you doing, Tam? Is Robbie a permanent transfer? Nah, Corey's just taking a wee break, man. But we will have Robbie on many a time going down the road.
Just a sub.
Just a sub, now. He's a super sub, like all Gunny Solskjaer of the podcast world, aren't you, mate?
Aye, I'm just a wee emergency loan for a couple of weeks.
Well, you need to shave that here.
You need to become baldy, mate. You need to be one of our baldies.
Actually, I've made a bit. I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but at the start of the season, I said to my pals it was a time where I think Rangers were just sort of the takeover rumours were coming up, and Celtic, I thought they were going to spend money in the transfer window, to be honest. I turned around and said to my pals, look, boys, nobody's getting near these two, so if one of the old firm, none of the old firm win the league within the next 5 years, I'll shave my hair off. So that's really came back to bite me this season, because Hearts actually look like they're up there and challenging, look like they're not going to go away. So that'll actually be fun if that does that, because then I'll
Well, that's how you don't want Hearts to win the league.
So you got to stick to that then. If Hearts actually win the league, you got to shave that banner.
I mean, I've said it on a live stream now, so if in the next 5 years any of the no fun win the league, then my hair's going.
Needs to be a number one. It needs to be all over, but all.
I'll do it on a live and all just to get the
Last
viewers.
January windy, if Kilmarnock get a deal, was it Jamie Dow? Who was the 3 players? I was getting them tattooed on me, and he never get rid of one. Matondo, probably.
Aye, something like Matondo, Dowell, and somebody else.
The big full Kilmarnock back down at Norwich. Fucking relegation was on the cards.
A big shout out to Big Phil Kilmarnock.
Fucking brilliant.
Where are they in the league right now? Let's have a look at this. Where are
Fucking
they?
up, mate. 16th, 15th.
Well, on the way up, are they?
Aye, mate, they'll get promoted.
Aye, and David Wright say I think Norwich have won 4 out of the last 5, haven't they? And I remember I was walking to the book. I think it was before we played. Was it? I can't remember. It was only a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember if it was Dundee or something at home. I was walking to the bookies with my dad. I was like, I'm going to put Norwich on the day because they're on smack bang on form. The one game I put them on against Middlesbrough at home and they get beat 1-0. Honestly,
Middlesbrough are good though.
Well, they've climbed that table enough. They've got their new manager.
Aye.
Coventry to the leader of the league last night, but they won.
Aye, and Ipswich 2 games in on. It'll take them a point behind Middlesbrough, son, and Millwall's first. You know.
Norwich are 18th and 39 points. Mate, they're not a relegation battle, but they're only 7 points ahead.
Aye, but well, Jamie, they were second bottom, I think, when he took here.
Were they? Look at fucking Leicester, man. Leicester are third bottom. Jeez, oh.
What about the game? Was it last week? 3-0 up? Get beat 4-3?
Aye.
Fucking hell, man.
That was against Southampton at home, no?
And then they played each other in the cup. I'm sure I took Southampton. It went to fucking extra time.
Aye, was it 6 points they get deducted a few weeks ago?
Aye, 6.
There's only a couple of things I want to talk about left, guys, and then I'll let you get on your way. Tam saying number 1 000 all over, Robbie boy. There you go. You need to be. People know now. People know. The internet knows. One thing let's talk about. What did you make of the Chelsea players apparently snubbing the Hull City mascots? Did we see this?
Aye.
Huh?
Have you not seen this, David?
I watched the game, mate. No, I've not seen it.
It's all the internet, man. They're talking about it in TalkSport and all that. Robbie, what's your opinion, mate? My opinion is, I don't think they've seen them.
Aye, but to be honest, Jamie, the video doesn't give them plaudits, does it? It doesn't swing in their favour, I think.
I don't think they've seen them, mate. They were just too busy looking forward. The boys were on the right-hand side. You know what I mean? I genuinely don't think they've seen them.
I know. You know what? See if they didn't see them, right, fair enough. But that many players not even turning to look. Like, surely you've seen something at the corner of your eye at that point when you're walking through the tunnel. But, you know, we'll never know. But I think Ali McCoy's, and I think it was Jim White that was talking about it as well. I think they got it spot on in terms of it does only take a second. You know, it would make every one of their mascots probably years. You know, one of them just turns to them and go, all right, or, you know, goes there and talks to them. It takes a couple of minutes out of these players' times. And like as you said, Jamie, we'll never know if they've seen them or not. And the Chelsea players, if you were to ask them, they probably would say they've never seen them. And if they didn't, fair enough. But, you know, I think it was McCoy that said it. They players were like that once. They were mascots looking up at players. They were looking up at their icons, wondering, oh, imagine if he walked by me, what a day, and I'd be so excited. So, you know, for these mascots, you can understand why there's been so much upload about it. And of course, as I said, we'll never know. But I did think at the time when I first seen the video, I did think it was a poor look for the Chelsea players, to be honest.
Maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe, but I just thought that they were just paying attention to what was in front of them. And I don't understand. Jason Cundy was saying it on TalkSport as well. If, you know, if they were so desperate to get these boys, you know, to speak to the Chelsea players, why they put them in a corner? It was like on the right-hand side. If you're looking ahead of yourself, You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just being naive or whatever, but I just don't think they even looked.
You seen
And
it a couple of weeks ago on Twitter, I know, was it Newcastle? We last year got out in the park and they were all taking their jackets off and she was just on there, didn't know what to do, and they all just fucked off
Aye.
to get ready for the game. So
I've seen that, no. That
it's
was
one of
cool.
the new ones, you know what I mean? But then again,
Aye,
it takes
but
you back to years ago when the wee was an Arsenal fan. They went to shake Gerrard's on and pulled that away and done that to him. And I think somebody done it to John Terry and off. So it's one of the
aye.
new ones.
I think a few years ago, I think it was Arsenal done it as well. But I think these mascots were right in front of Arsenal players, and every one of them patched them. And I think Kieran Tierney was the only one that actually went up and actually spoke to them and all that, because he's obviously
Well,
a good Tim. You know what I mean? He's a good guy. So
we went down south for Edin's football team and see the presentation. It was Jermaine Defoe. So see all the Celtic fans there. That was like, see if he tries to shake your hand, Dayson and all that. They were all walking by him, folding their arms or doing that and then pulling it away and walking by him and things like that. It's going to happen.
aye.
Chelsea couldn't have done that to them. Hey, you're on the corner.
But what I would say, Jamie, is somebody should be telling these Chelsea players, there was I think in the video there was an adult standing behind the mascots. One of them should just
I know. Should have given them a shout out.
The mascots in here, they're really enthusiastic, they really want to meet you. Can you just give them a wee thumbs up or whatever?
And you know what it's like as well? It's like these guys were walking behind each other and stuff like that. See if one of them had just spotted, which I don't think any of them did, right? Maybe one of them did and dinged them, but I think the majority of these guys didn't even clock them. But see if one of them had just went up and went, all right, boys, and then high five or whatever, they would all started doing it. You know what I mean? So it just took one, and that's why maybe that's why I think I'm right, is because, if you're looking ahead of yourself and you don't see anybody else doing it, you're just going to go with the flow, aren't you? You're not even going to. I don't know. Maybe I'm just naive, right?
Before the game, then,
fucking arseholes, but
Aye.
before the game, mate, they were just Chelsea players were just going on.
Play the game.
No, it wasn't actually on. It was like an hour before the game or whatever. When they were just going in the building.
I'm 20, right, and I could imagine how they're feeling. I still get nervous when Stephen Robinson walks by me. Like, I can only imagine how these wee guys are feeling watching Chelsea players walk by them. You know what I mean? So it's just
Robbie, I done it to Gavin Ray. We had them on the podcast. Who did they play? Can't remember.
He was well warned, he was well warned though to bring a story up to Gavin.
And I had the same trachea on as the players did, and I walked right up to him, put my horn out, and then did that. Fuck off! You're always injured, and just walk by him.
I mean, how pathetic is that? That is fucking. That is
13, 14, 14, 15, maybe.
Oh, you made that out as if you were about fucking 30 at the time.
No, but I've done it. Remember him beat his 3-0, mate, when I was at that car park waiting, they couldn't take me in with that half time. He sat in for the full game. I'm in the wee car park across that fucking all right, leave with my pump.
Brilliant. Right, last thing I want to talk about is Aberdeen. What is going on with Aberdeen? Obviously, you mentioned earlier on, Robbie, that you don't think St Mirren will go down that, right? I think Aberdeen are right in with a shout of getting relegated, by the way. I think they could finish second bottom. See, the current form they're on, I don't understand why they're not appointing a manager. Obviously, they let Leighton Clarkson go in the window and that as well, which is obviously a major thing. What the fuck? What's going on with Aberdeen, and can they get relegated?
No.
No?
Aye. They can.
Aye. Do you think they will?
No, but I think they can. I think any of the bottom six can get relegated at this moment, to be honest. There's no many points in it at all. And with the way Aberdeen are going now, to be honest, in my opinion, they shouldn't have sacked Tilling in the first place, to be honest. It's put them in an even worse position. Peter Levine wasn't a great appointment at the back of him, to be honest with you. I thought both times they played Rangers, they looked uninspiring. They probably should have had somebody in the door by now. Jamie, it feels like for years Aberdeen have just never been consistent at all in any way, shape or form, and you're seeing it again. Who could actually go in and do a good job? But that's my question. Who's going to go in there and actually turn this Aberdeen team into something really
They're not getting excited in a foreigner because he's doing well in his old team or the team he's at the new, but they do this all the time and then it doesn't work.
Do you know what I think the problem is? I think the problem is they've brought in this director of football, and he seems to be the guy that's making all.
The German boy.
Aye, he seems to be the guy that's making the decision. He's sitting in the dugout with Levine, or Peter Levine, and I think that he's the guy that's making the decisions, and I think that he's the guy in charge, in my opinion. And I think that Peter Levine is just like a guy that's fucking working for the media. You know what I mean? Because I mean, why you wouldn't bring a manager in? I mean, fair enough. You maybe no say sack Jimmy Tilleen, but even if they did, why have they not got somebody else in? Why did they not have somebody else? You know, I mean, it's been what is that? That's been months now, isn't it?
Aye.
How did they not have somebody else lined up?
Well, where did we play him? December.
Aye.
Aye. Get into New Year, wasn't it? Or just after the New Year, we played him and he was there.
They're just not uninspired. The window showed no signs of progression. Lyle Cameron, alright, fair enough. I can see why Aberdeen have opted for that. It's a decent enough signing. Teosi Olasanya is never in a million years an Aberdeen player. Not a chance. It does not suit the mould by any stretch of the imagination at Aberdeen. And, you know, you go back to the team that I think when they lost 1-0 with Falkirk, you're looking at their midfield. I think it was a Chuche who's obviously loan's been cut short, Carlson whose loan's been cut short, and obviously Stuart Armstrong who's still in there. That's more than capable enough Aberdeen midfield. Like, you know, although these loans didn't work and whatever, that's a more than good enough Aberdeen midfield to be pushing up the league and doing well. It just feels like, to be honest, people always go, oh, Aberdeen are the third biggest club in Scotland or whatever, and they might be historically, right? And I maybe agree with that historically, but see, in the last 10 years, Aberdeen are not anywhere near it. I wouldn't even say they're top 5 in the last 10 years, to be honest. They've shown absolutely nothing to earn it. Obviously, the cup win slightly different. It was one of Tilleen's probably most positive moments at his stint at the club. But apart from that, naked league consistency for years.
Agreed, mate. Totally agree. But we'll see what the rest of the season brings. But anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Robbie, thanks very much for coming on and being a late substitute for Corey. We will be talking to you down the line, mate. Obviously, we were talking about the World Cup earlier on. I'm sure we'll be getting you on to discuss that even further near the time. Plus, obviously, everything else that happens in the near future. Davey boy, thanks very much for your company again this week, brother. Corey, we'll be back within the next week or two. And then we've got other things planned. So thanks very much, everybody, for watching. Enjoy the rest of your night.